So good afternoon children. From today onwards actually I am going to teach you the maths. So what we are going to discuss in this class, data handling. So it means everybody might have known what is the meaning of the data. What is the meaning of the data actually? What we are see here actually in your textbook there are some examples everybody might have known about that. That are runs made by a batsman in the last 10 test matches. So how can you get the data? See, last 10 test matches. It means he played 10 test matches. In every test match, one batsman, how many runs he scored. So this is also a data. For every test match, what about his runs? That's we have to know first. And number of wickets taken by a bowler in the last 10 one-day international matches. It means what? Actually one bowler. We are considering one bowler and how many wickets he has taken not only in one match, in the last 10 one-day international matches. Understand? So it means in every match we have to take the collection of the runs, wickets, how many he has taken. Okay. And third one, see, one more example was given in your textbook, that is the marks scored by the students of your class in the mathematics unit test. So here we have to consider all the students as well as the marks of every child in one subject, that is what? Mathematics. So a number of storybooks read by each of your friends. Understand? Number of storybooks. It means if you have 10 friends, you have to write each friend's how many storybooks read by each friend. Understand? It means one friend studied he read 5 books and the other friend read 7 books in that book. Understand or not? Second friend, or otherwise 2 or 3 of in each friend, what happened? This is the information collected in all such cases is called, whatever the information we are collecting in all such cases are known as data. So data is usually collected in the context of a situation we want to study. It means what? Actually, what is the meaning of the data? Data means what? This is usually in the context of situation what we want to study. Whatever we want to study, that we are actually collecting in as per the situation. This is known as data. See, for example, one more example was given in your textbook. That is what? A teacher may like to know the average height of students in her class. See, she wants to know the average height of the students in her class. To find this, we have to write the heights of all the students in her class, organize the data in a systematic manner, and then interpret it accordingly. It means, see, in our class, maybe so many children are in the same height, isn't it or not? Otherwise, 1 or 2 children are in same height. It doesn't mean every student is having a different height. First, we have to take the individual heights. Afterwards, we should arrange them according to their in a systematic manner, and then we should interpret according to that. So sometimes data is represented graphically. Sometimes we can represent the data graphically also. See, to give a clear idea of what it happens, of what it represents. For example, see, first one is, if we are representing the data, see, what is the meaning of the data? See, data is usually collected in the context of a situation. It is usually collected in the according to the situation. Data was collected as per our requirement. Understand that what we want to study, and we can represent the data graphically also. What we can do? We can represent the data graphically also. How can we represent the data graphically? See, so do you remember the different types of graphs which we want to learn in earlier classes? Actually, for representing the data, we studied different types of data in the previous different types of graphs. Actually, we studied different types of graphs in our earlier classes. What about those different graphs? Their first one is the pictograph. What is the first one? This is the pictograph. The first one is pictograph. It means what? Pictorial representation of data using the symbols. Pictograph. Actually, in this word only we have the meaning also. After seeing the this type of data representation. Pictograph. Picture means what? We are representing the data through the pictures. Understand that or not? Pictorial representation of data using the, it means we are using the symbols. And by using the symbols, we are representing the, by using the pictures or symbols, we are representing the data in pictograph. For example, see here, for example, what I am telling you, see here is a ball. What I told you, that one ball represents 100 students, 100 cars. See, in your one ball represents 100 cars. Understand or not? It means if I showed you one ball, see here in your textbook you have car, but here we will study about the balls. Okay, this is the ball diagram. That's why one ball represents to 100 balls. See, now how can you see? In July, see. Otherwise, everybody, sorry for giving this example. Everybody look at your textbook. Here one example is there. That is car. You know, you have seen the picture of a car in your textbook. That is in page number 69. So, what they showed, actually one car means, it doesn't mean one car represents 100 cars. The picture of one car represents the 100 cars. And here some pictures are given. See, in July, 1, 2 and half of the car was given. It means what? One car represents to 100. In July, 100 and one more car was there in July. It means 200 and half of the car is there, is also there. It means half of the 100 is represents to the 50. It means 100 plus 100 and 50. It means 250 cars were sold were produced. Here they were producing the cars. So 200 plus 100, one car equal to 100 cars. It means we are representing 100 cars with the picture of one car. So one car is means here we have seen 2.5 cars in July month. It means the company was producing one car is equal to 100 cars. You know, one car is equal to 100 cars. Here one car diagram actually I have to draw here, but I couldn't show it on the blackboard. That's why. So in July, how many cars were produced? We have seen 2.5 cars in here. It means what? In July they were producing 250 cars. Half of 100 is 50. And in August, we have seen the pictures of 3 cars in this pictograph. It means one car is equal to 100 cars. So in August, if we have seen 3 cars, it means what? 100 plus 100 plus 100. In August, how many cars they were producing? 300 cars. And in September, we have seen the pictures of 4 cars. It means what? What is the meaning of the 4 cars? 4 car means 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. It means one car represents the 100 cars. That's why. So in September they were producing 400 cars. This is if we are representing the data with the help of, see, pictorial representation of data means pictograph means what? We are representing the data using symbols. Pictures are representing the data using, actually we are pictorial representation of data using the symbols. Okay, we are showing the symbol of those symbols for the representation of the data. Understand? So how many cars were produced in the month of July? After seeing the, I told you in the just now that one car is equal to 100 cars. If we have seen 2.5 cars, it means 250 cars. In August, we are seeing 3 cars here, it means 300. And in September, we are seeing 4 cars. 4 cars means one car is equal to 100 cars. If we have seen 4 cars, it means 4 into 100, 400 cars in September. So, in which month were maximum number of cars produced? After seeing this pictograph, so you can understand. So, which month were maximum number of cars produced? And which month? Everybody look at your textbook. In September, because we have seen 4 cars, it means in September we are maximum number of cars were produced, 400 cars. This is if we are representing the data with the help of pictures. It is known as pictograph. So, what is the second type of graph? That is bar graph. What is the second one? That is bar bar graph. A display of information using bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. See, a display of information. In bar graph, we are displaying the information by using the bars of uniform width. So, we can display the information by using the bars. See, this is a bar and this is a bar. If we are displaying the information by using the bars of equal width, but their heights their heights may vary because they are being proportional to the respective values. It means the heights are actually as per the value they may change. If the value was less, then the height of the bar may lower. If the value increases, the height of the bar may increase. It means the bar, if we are showing the information using the bars of uniform width and their heights are being proportional to the representative values, it is known as bar graph. Second one is the bar graph. So now everybody look at your textbook, page number 70. See, in maths actually you can do each and every sum in your exercise without making any mistake if you are going through the examples what were given in your textbook first. So that's why everybody open your textbook, page number 70. See, here we have seen one bar graph. What is there in that bar graph? Actually, they have shown some information through bars. है ना? So, what is that information that was showed through bars? That is, see, here is a bar. Actually, we have taken in this bar graph, see, bar heights give the quantity of each category. Whatever the height that was showing in the bars, it was given the quantity of each category. But bars are of equal width with equal gaps in between. So whatever the bars were drawn, they are of equal width, as well as the gap between them is also equal. Understand? So here what we have taken in this one, see, number of students in class 8. Here we have taken the bar graph as number of students in class height. That is in the number of students we are showing in the number of students we are showing in the class 8. Number of students of class 8 we are showing on the vertical line and the bars are on the horizontal line. Here what we are showing here, academic year. Academic year. Because our academic year starts from only in 1 year, actually we can't, our academic year starts from 1 year to other year, because this year's March to another year's March, in that way. So number of students, here actually you have seen one bar graph. The number of students also you can see here, 2003 and 2004 and 2004 and 2005 and 2005 to 2006, as well as 2006 to 2007. So in that way, again you have here 2007 to 2008 also there in your textbook. If you have seen that one, what is the meaning of the bar graph? See, in this bar graph actually we are showing what information was given by the academic year and number of students in class 8. See, actually this bar graph is showing us number of students in the academic year also. From 0, and then we are taking 50, afterwards 100, and 150 and see 150 and 200, 250 actually, 250, 300 350. We are actually we have taken the here what we are saying number of students we are taking on the vertical line, and the year in academic year we have shown on the horizontal line. So here what is the information given by the bar graph? So bar graphs may what how can we draw the bar graph? The bar heights given give the quantity for each category. Whatever the height of the bar, actually it is giving quantity for each category. For what is it means? It means in 2003 and 2004 number of students in 8th standard are, see, the height of the bar is equal to 100. That 100. And in 2004 and 2005 the number of students in 8th standard are 200. Understand? In 2005 and 2006 the number of students in 8th standard are 250, and 2006 and 2007 the number of students are 300, and 2007 to 2008 the number of students are 350. So actually these, which information it is, how the students are increasing, actually it is saying how many students are in which academic year, whether there is an increase or decrease, and everything this information, this bar graph was given to us. And in which year is the increase in the number of students maximum? See, everybody look at here. In which year the increase in the number of students maximum? See, in 2003 and 2004 the number of students are 100. But in 2004 and 5 the number of students are 200. In 2005 and 6 the number of students are 250. 2006 and 7 number of students are 300. 2007 and 8 number of students are 350. It means in every year, if you are comparing the increase in every year, in 2004 and 2005, all of a sudden the students increased from 100 to 200. 100 children were increased. In all other years, only 50 children were increased in the 8th standard. Understand? And in which year is the number of students maximum? In which year actually number of students maximum in 8th standard? Everybody might have understand after seeing this bar graph. It means what is the information it was given in 2007 and 8. In 8th standard maximum number of students are there, that is 350 students. Understand? So in 2007 and 2008 we have the maximum number of students. And state whether true or false. See, the number of students during 2005 and 2006 is twice that of 2003-2004. 2003 and 2004, in between 2003 and 2004, how many students are there? The number of students in 2005 and 6 are twice than this. Twice means what? What is the meaning of the word twice? They are double than these students. But actually in 2005 and 2006, the total students are 5 and 2006. Actually here I hadn't written properly. The number of students were through 250. Actually the total students were 250. They are not twice, more than twice. है ना? Actually twice of 100 is 200. They are 250. It means more than twice. All in 2004 and 2005. 2003-2004 we have 100 students. In 2004 and 2005 we have 200 students. It means they were double than 2003 and 2004. So 2005-2006 is wrong, and 2004-2005 the students are double twice, this is right. Understand? If they had asked that 2005-2006 double the students, then that is wrong. Understand? And double bar. Now we learnt about the two types of graphs. One is pictograph, second one is bar graph. Pictograph means what? Whatever the data we want to show, we can show that data through the pictures. Understand? Pictures are symbols. And bar graph means whatever the data, actually whatever the information we want to display that, if we are displaying that information by using the bars as per their respective values, then it is known as bar graph. Okay? And what is the third type of graph? Now we studied about the pictograph as well as the bar graph. The third variety of graph is double bar graph. The third variety of graph is double bar graph. third is double bar graph. One is pictograph, second one is bar graph, third one is double bar graph. What about the double bar graph? What is the meaning of the double bar graph? A bar graph showing two sets of data simultaneously, it is useful for the comparison of the data. This is also bar graph only, but if it is showing the two types of data, if it is showing the two types of data simultaneously, then it is useful, and simultaneously then it is known as the double bar graph, and it is used to comparing the data. For example, see here one example, everybody look at the example in your textbook in page number 70. Actually you have very good examples. If you are looking at them here, everybody look at here. See, actually simultaneous results into, actually we are seeing that here they have shown one box, white box and one black box, है ना. White box represents the 2006 and 2007, 2006, 2007 marks, and black box, this dark box, it represents the 2007 and 2008 marks of one student. It means we are going to compare the marks of one student between in 2 years, whether his performance was increased or decreased in the next year. We are comparing one student's marks in each subject in 2 years, 2 years marks we are comparing. Here marks obtained by a student. So we are taking the number of marks the student got. Marks obtained by a student, and second one is by a student, and second one is the subjects. Here we are showing the subjects. See, one student got he has so many subjects. In each subject how he got the marks. Here we are writing maths, understand, and science. These are the subjects, or science subjects, and social science. This is social science and science and English, and this one is Hindi. It means we are comparing the students' performance in 2 continuous years, that is in 2007 and 2008. So, how he performed in this one? See, marks here actually from 10 marks onwards, from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, see 60, 70 and 80. Here we are shown the marks, how much he got in between this. See. So, what is the information given by the double bar graph? So, here what is the information? Here we have 2 bars. See, this one, understand, and here also this one, understand, and here also this one, this one, and here what we are doing in this one? Actually we are comparing the marks of one student in 2 simultaneous years. In maths actually, see, this dark portion represents the marks of 2007 and 2008, and this lighter portion is actually represents the marks of 2006 and 7. Here everybody look at here. So, you can look at your textbook also, so that you can understand the concept. If you couldn't be able to look at the blackboard properly, then you can look at your textbook also. The examples were given in your textbook. So what I told you here, the shaded portion actually the shaded portion represents to the marks of the child student in 2007 and 2008. The blank portion represents the marks of the student in 2006 and 2006 in 2007 year. Understand? So what is the information given by the double bar graph? So here are some questions. First question is, what is the information given by the double bar graph? So this double bar graph is showing us the marks obtained by one student in different subjects into simultaneous years. It means we can compare the performance of the students into simultaneous years. Okay, and in which subject has the performance improved most? After seeing this one, in which subject the performance increased most? See, in which subject the performance increased most? Anybody can say? You can see the drastic increase is there in math subject. In which subject the performance increased most? That is in math subject. So in which subject has the performance deteriorated? It means what? In which subject their performance was lower than the previous year. In English subject their performance, the students' performance deteriorated than the previous year's performance. And in which subject is the performance at par? It means in which subject the performance is equal? In Hindi, in 2 years actually he has the same type of performance. Understand? So it means if we are using 2 bars while comparing, it is useful for the comparison of the data. We can use the double bar graph while comparing the performance of one student, or while comparing the performance one company or someone else in 2 simultaneous years or something else. So double bar graph is used for comparison. So now we learnt about the 3 types of graphs. First one is the pictograph, second one is the bar graph, third one is the double bar graph. Pictograph, we can represent the data by using the pictures or symbols. In bar graph, we are displaying the information by using the bars of equal width and their height changes as per the proportional to the their height changes proportional to the respective values. Understand? And double bar graph means, double bar graph we are using while comparing the performance of one person in at 2 times or in 2 simultaneous years in that way. Understand? Or in 2 situations in that way. See, here are some questions given in your textbook, that is in page number 71. Everybody look at here. Draw an appropriate graph to represent the given information. See, month, number of watches sold. Understand? So here you have to draw a graph. See, draw an appropriate graph represent the given information. Months, here they actually how to draw this graph by using the information given in this. How can you draw? Appropriate graph means how to draw a graph here. See, here we can take the months, we can draw a bar graph by using this one. See, here we can mention the months: July, August, September, October, November and December. Okay, so number of watches sold, we will take that in the vertical line. Okay, number of watches sold. Okay, so you can mention the numbers here. So what is the least number here given? That is 1000. So we can take it as 0. Afterwards we can start from 1000. See, continuously actually 500s are increasing sometimes, otherwise the number was stable in some cases. That is 1500, see 2000, 2500, and this one we can show as 1500. So you can draw the bar graph here. So in July you show it with the 1000. How many were sold? Watches 1000. And in August 1500. How much? 1500. As well as in September also 1500. And in October, how many watches were sold? In October, actually 2000 watches were sold in October. As well as November, 2500. How many watches were sold in November? They are 2500 watches. And we can show it in the December again, 1500. In December again, how many watches were sold? Actually, just for confirmation, I draw these lines, there is no need. So again, so which graph we have drawn here? After seeing this question, see, draw an appropriate graph to represent the given information. So after seeing this graph, what you can understand, this is a bar graph, you can understand. See here, number of watches sold, these are the number of watches, and these are months, है ना? These are months. In which month how many watches were sold? So after seeing this bar graph, what you can understand, if I am asking a question, how many watches were sold in August? After seeing this bar graph, you can anybody can say that is 1500, because this bar is showing the 1500. So it means the number of watches sold in August month is 1500. So number of watches sold in September month, that is also representing the, that is also giving the information that 1500 watches were sold in September month. As well as in October also, how many watches were sold? 2000. It is representing, actually it is showing 2000. So in October also 2000 watches were sold. As well as in November it is showing 2500, and again in December it is showing 1500 watches sold. So we can draw the bar graph by using this, by seeing this information. And second one is, see, second sum is there in your textbook, page number 71. What is that sum? Sir, recording हो रहे हैं ना? हाँ? Second sum is there, that is, see, here one more table was given, that is children who prefer walking, cycling. Understand? School A में and school B and school C. See, walking and cycling. So here what we are going to, so here actually walking, cycling, school A, school B and school C were given here. So we can write the school A, B, C, and here we can show the walking with light, this one, and darker, with darker box we can show the shaded box represents the cycling. So in school A, see, if we are taking this, actually the least value started from 15 here. So we can take it as 0, 10, number of children, you know, number of children in 3 schools. 50. In that way you can show the, see 5 are increasing, so 0, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and school A, here school A, school B, school C, and here number of children. The children are increasing 5 numbers only, that's why you can take the number of children as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, in that way, okay, 50, okay. These are the number of children. Here school A, from school A, school B and school C. Again in school A we are showing the number of children. See, shaded portion is representing the, what the shaded portion representing? Walking. Blank one is representing the walking and the shaded one is cycling. What is this? Cycling. And here walking, school A, walking for represents to 40, and if you have taken the 45, cycling, okay. Shaded portion is the cycling and blank portion represents the walking. Understand or not? So in the same way, in here 50 as well as, we can draw this, we can show this data in this way. It means this is a double bar graph. We can show this data with double bar graph. How can we show it? This is 55. In the school B, see, cycling, how many are preferring the cycling? 25. 25, and walking? Walking is represented with blank bar and cycling is represented with shaded bar. So cycling, how many children showed interest in cycling in school B? This one, 25. See, it is near to 25, and by walking 55. Understand or not? This is school B children. And school C, again walking 15. School B walking, school C walking 15. Just we can represent it here only, walking 15 and cycling how many? 35. Here we have to draw one more bar by touching it. This is the double bar graph, and cycling we are showing with shaded portion. So now I told you blank one is walking, blank bar is walking, shaded bar is cycling. Understand or not? Cycling. This is a double bar graph. So this is the school's name we have taken on the horizontal bar, on the horizontal line, and on the vertical line we have taken the number of children. From school A, the shaded portion is representing the cycling. Cycling, it means 45 children prefer the cycling and 40 children likes the walking. Understand or not? And in school B, 25 children likes the cycling, 55 children likes the walking. And in school C, 15 children likes the walking and 35 children like the cycling. Okay. So this we can show with double bar graph, because we are comparing two qualities, it means walking and cycling, and we are showing them through this double bar graph. Understand? Next, one more question is there, that is the third one. See, one more example is there, that is the third one. How can you show it? That is the third one. The third one you can show, see, percentage wins in one day international by 8 top cricket teams. Actually 8 top cricket teams, you can take the names of the cricket teams here and you take the percentage here. So what is the least percentage in it? Actually they have shown that 44 is the least percentage. That's why 43 is the least percentage. So that you can write the percentage, you can start the percentage. See, percentage you can take on vertical lines. Teams, South Africa, Australia, you can take on the horizontal line. Sri Lanka, SL, and New Zealand, NZ, and England, E, England, and Pakistan, P, as well as West Indies, WI, and India. So here what they had given, see, two types of actually we have to compare the percentage wins in one day international by 8 top cricket teams from Champions Trophy to World Cup 2006 and 2007. Here we are comparing the percentage increase of the same country at 2 times. Understand? It means in South Africa, how can we take the percentage here? From which number onwards we have to start? That's you have to know first. Na? See, you look at these percentage, which is the least one, that is 30%. So TK, we will take it as 0, 10, 20, 30, and as well as 31, 35, and in that way we can divide it, and you have to show it with a double bar graph also. Understand or not? This is also a double bar graph. And next one is organizing data. What is the meaning of the organizing data? See, usually data available to us in an unorganized manner is called the raw data. Raw data means what? Raw vegetables means what? Uncooked food, uncooked vegetables. Understand? The vegetables in the form, in which form they are available from nature to us are known as raw vegetables. In the same way, the unorganized data is known as raw data. Whatever the unorganized data is there, unorganized data. Unorganized data means it is known as raw data. Actually, we are not organizing them in a proper way. It means they are raw data. To draw a meaningful inferences, we need to organize the data systematically. If we want to draw a meaningful, if we want to show it in a meaningful way, then we have to make it as an organized data. It means we have to write the data in a systematic way. That is, for example, a group of students was asked for their favorite subject. So the results are as listed below. Here one example was given. Group of students are there actually. Maybe in your class I am asking you one by one whose favorite subject is there. So I had to, everybody had given their reply. That is, I like the art, I like the English, I like mathematics, madam I like Hindi, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. So here one list was given, which is the most liked subject, then the one least liked. So I had written all those answers on the board. For example, see, art, mathematics, science, English, arts, and math, science, English. Understand? And again somebody told me math, art, and English, maths, English. Somebody, these are the actually favorite subjects of students one by one, as well as art, science. Someone is saying science, man, and some other said science, and some other said science, and some other said maths, some other said art, and some other said English, and somebody told me that arts, science, some others said maths and science and art. One by one everyone is giving reply. I am asking everybody, I asked everybody one by one, everybody told me about your favorite subject. One by one standing up, and they had given me the answer like this. So is this in an organized manner? So I was unable to identify how many children like the art subject and how many like the English as well as how many like the mathematics. Everything I was confused a little bit, how many likes the science. First we have to estimate how many children likes which subject. So first how many subjects are there? Arts, maths, science, English. Arts, maths, science, English. See total subjects, everybody's only we have how many subjects are here? 4 subjects. All children's favorite subjects are 4 subjects. But it means all children's favorite subjects, only 4 subjects are there. In them only some children likes arts. Now we have to first we should arrange them in a systematic manner. How to arrange them? Subject, first one is arts, second one is maths, second one is, third one is science, next English. These 4 subjects only there. So these 4 subjects, first we had written the subject's name. Now we should tally them. Tally marks. What are these? Tally marks and number of students. Number of students. Here we have written number of students. See, subject, tally marks. See, now whatever the information given in the question, everybody go to page number 71 and look at there. See, art. First students favorite subject was art. That's why we had written first number 1. Understand? And again art. One more time, again you look at that list. Art student. One more child likes the arts. Third also there. And fourth one also there, art student. And for fifth art, we had written the fifth line here. It means 1, 2, 3, 4 and this one is the fifth. And sixth one also arts and seventh one is also arts. Again 6th to 7th, 8th to 9th to 5th one again we can write in this. Okay. Total how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So how many number of students likes arts? 7 students. Understand? And again everybody look at page number 71. From there only you can count. Maths. Here first mathematics, 1 boy, 1 child, and afterwards again mathematics, 2 child, and afterwards third mathematics, 3 child, and 1 more mathematics, 4, and last but not least that is mathematics, that is 5. Fifth one I had written in this, I draw this line in between these, actually like this. This is the fifth. So total number, how many students likes maths? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is the 5. 5 students likes. And again everybody look at page number 71 only. There is the information. Now you go through the science subject. From first onwards count how many first? One child science. Again science. And again science. Again science. Over. Fifth one is science. And sixth one is also science. So total number of students, how many students favorite subject is science? 6 children's favorite subject is science. See 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one we have to draw in this way, and 6 students likes the science. And last what is the fourth subject? English. From starting onwards in this raw data you find out how many children likes the English. First English, and second English, third English, fourth English. How many children likes English? 4 children likes English. So these are known as, see, these are known as the tally marks. It means if we are counting one by one how many children likes the art by seeing the raw data, then we will get first art, second art, third art. In that way if we are getting the tally marks and we can count the number of students, then we have to write them here. Now it is in an organized manner. Now I came to understand that total number of students how many? 12 plus 10, 22, and in between these 22 children, 7 children likes the art subject, and 5 children likes maths, and 6 children like science, and 4 children likes English. Those are their favorite subjects. So the number of tallies before each subject gives the number of students who like that particular subject. This is known as the frequency of the subject. See, this is known as the frequency. The number of tallies, whatever these number of tallies was given here, this numbers is known as frequency. Frequently means how many children, frequently how many children likes that subject. Frequency means frequently, how many frequently, so many children, how many children were known that this was information was shown. This information was known as the frequency. What is it? Frequency. It gives the number of times that a particular entry occurs. Frequency, what it times? It tells us this is known as frequency. It tells us how many number of times a particular entry occurs. It means how many number of times, how many number of children likes the art subject. Understand or not? So 1, 2, 3, 7 children. It means it tells frequency tells us the how many times a particular entry occurs. How many children likes a particular subject here. Understand? Frequency tells us that one. So now the table made is whatever the table we have prepared here, it is known as the frequency distribution table. It is known as frequency distribution table. This is the tally. It is known as tally. Understand? So now one more example in 5.3. You see one more example was given. That is one more is the some. Now what we have done first, we should know in this in example 5.2 what we learnt. We learnt that is organizing data. Here we were organizing the data in a particular way. But in 5.3 actually we are grouping the data. Here actually they had given graphically, see pictograph or barograph, some, and however we did. For example, see some marks obtained in mathematics by 60 students of class 8 was given here. In a class there are 60 students are there. Actually in one subject in maths, how many which student got how many marks, the list of the students marks were given here. It means 60 children's marks means 60 children's marks are here in mathematics subjects. Means total 60 children's marks are there. So we should arrange them, we should group them. So we should know how many children got the 10 marks. So some children may get 60 children are not getting 60 different types of marks. So many children may get 20 marks, and so many maybe 20 children may get 20, and 20 children may get 25, or otherwise 2 or 3 children may get 2 or 5 or 2 marks. So first we have to group those, grouping the data. How to group this data? This is known as if we are writing the data entry in this way, here we are organizing the data. So how to group the data? We have the marks of 60 children in maths subject. So how can we know how many children were getting? So for a clear picture of their marks and how many children were getting in between 0, then how can we grouping of the data? How to group the data? Of data. See here, how can we group it? We can group it like, see, total number of children how many? 60. So 60 children's marks, students of class 8 children's marks were given, and so out of 50, huh? Over. So tomorrow I will continue, okay?